The courtroom falls silent as the witness steps forward, a man who once lived in the shadow of a king, witnessing the darkest truths hidden behind velvet ropes and private jets. This man could deal the final blow to Diddy's defense. As Joe Rogan has said repeatedly, this Diddy situation is insane, man. The stories coming out are next-level horrifying. If even half of this is true, this guy was running a straight-up criminal enterprise. Now, alongside former personal assistant Capricorn Clark stands David James. Both fix their eyes on Sean Diddy Combs, the hip-hop mogul now bound by federal charges, and begin to speak. Their words are calm, yet the impact is earth-shattering. Prosecutors insist these testimonies could completely dismantle Diddy's defense, bringing him to his knees. They reveal chilling details, a hidden world of guns, drugs, and shattered glass, where assistants weren't just workers, but silent witnesses to violence, manipulation, and terrifying control. After years of silence, they're finally speaking out. And above all, David James's testimony, prosecutors claim, could be the one that topples the entire empire.
The Empire of Fear. Former personal exposes it all.
The courtroom is thick with tension as the trial of Sean Diddy Combs continues. Federal prosecutors depict a man who ruled his empire through fear, where luxury, power, and terror existed side by side. Former personal assistants take the stand, their voices shaking as they recount the nightmare of working for the hip-hop mogul. David James, Diddy's right-hand man from 2007 to 2008, paints a world where 100-hour workweeks were the norm, where a $70,000 salary meant being on call every hour of every day, and where one mistake meant immediate firing. What rhymes with tired? James recalls a common staff joke. Fired. But the real nightmare wasn't just the exhaustion, it was the violence. James describes driving Diddy toward a near shootout with Suge Knight, the rap mogul in the backseat clutching 3 guns and shouting, "Motherf****************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** another former assistant, who recalls hearing Cassie Ventura's terrified screams aboard Diddy's private jet in 2015, the sound of glass breaking, her desperate cries. "Isn't anybody seeing this?" While Diddy stood over her with a whiskey glass in hand. No one moved. No one dared. The assistants speak of cleaning up after Diddy's wild binges. Empty bottles, baby oil, and drugs scattered across five-star hotel suites from Trump International to Hotel Bel Air. They describe his obsession with perfection. Toothpaste and toiletries always available, facing forward and ready for use. And then came the drugs. Percocets, ecstasy, Viagra, even sperm count boosters, all neatly packed in his travel bags. James recalls one of Diddy's favorite pills, an ecstasy tablet stamped with Barack Obama's face. Their testimonies expose a man who sought control over every detail, not only of his own world, but of everyone trapped inside it.
Cassie's nightmare. Trapped in the kingdom.
The prosecution's key witness, Cassie Ventura, sits calm, yet visibly burdened as she recounts her decade-long nightmare. She was just 21 when she met Diddy, a man who promised her fame, music, and a bright future. What she received instead was violence, manipulation, and exploitation. He controlled everything, she tells the court. My career, my apartment, my money. I couldn't leave. David James supports her account, recalling a late-night talk on a Miami dock. I can't get out, Cassie told him, a cigarette shaking in her hand. He owns me. The jury listens as Cassie describes how Diddy allegedly forced her into sexual acts with male escorts, often inside hotel suites that investigators now consider crime scenes. He threatened to release explicit videos if she ever tried to run. Then came the private jet incident. George Kaplan's testimony mirrors Cassie's screams, glass shattering, Diddy towering over her with a whiskey glass clenched like a weapon. No one stepped in. No one dared. Because in Diddy's world, no one ever said no.
Kid Cudi's nightmare testimony shatters Diddy's empire of fear.
The courtroom is gripped by a chilling silence as Kid Cudi, Scott Mescudi, takes the stand, his jaw tight, his eyes blazing with years of buried fury. What unfolds isn't just testimony. It's a real-life nightmare pulled from a gangster film, revealing the unrestrained vengeance of a man who believed he was untouchable. Cudi's voice quivers as he recalls that December night in 2011, a frantic call from Diddy's assistant. Scott, he's inside your house right now. The jurors pale as Cudi recounts racing home to find his beloved dog locked in the bathroom, trembling, a calculated act of cruelty. His expensive Chanel gifts? Torn apart and tossed like trash, the remains scattered as if mocking him. The message was unmistakable. This is your punishment for touching what's mine. Weeks later, things escalated. Cudi's hands shake as he clicks through photos of his destroyed Porsche 911, the roof blown clean off, flames devouring everything. The leather seats melted into warped shapes, the dashboard turned to ash. Prosecutors zoom in on the remnants of a Molotov cocktail, a primitive yet terrifying weapon that reduced a $150,000 car to a burnt shell. That wasn't just arson, Cudi says, locking eyes with Diddy. That was a death threat, written in flames.
The assistant who knew too much.
Enter Capricorn Clark, Diddy's former right-hand woman. Her testimony lands like a grenade, describing how Diddy once forced her to take a polygraph test after his $2 million jewelry briefcase went missing. Inside the chaos, real diamonds had been swapped for $20 cubic zirconia fakes, a symbol of the paranoia that ruled his empire, where staff were constantly accused, questioned, and humiliated over imagined thefts. But the most damning moment? Clark admits she was the one who warned Kid Cudi about the break-in, because even she feared how far Diddy would go. As Cudi steps down, the air in the courtroom hums with tension. For the first time, Diddy's unshakable poker face cracks, a twitch in his jaw, his fingers tapping in erratic rhythm against the table. The jurors' disgust is unmistakable. This isn't about jealousy or revenge. It's a portrait of tyranny, surveillance, break-ins, firebombs, a dark playbook straight from organized crime. And with every new revelation, the once mighty bad boy CEO isn't just losing a trial. He's watching his empire crumble before his eyes. You wanted to be the king? Cudi's silent challenge lingers in the air. Then face the executioner's axe.
The revolt against the king. Every whistleblower who risked it all to bring down Diddy.
The trial of Sean Diddy Combs has turned into a full-blown coup against hip-hop's most feared mogul. A chilling parade of victims and insiders finally breaking their silence to expose his two-decade reign of terror. Leading the charge is Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former protege and lover, who took the stand to recount years of brutal abuse, sex trafficking, and psychological torment, including being forced into drug-fueled orgies while he filmed her. Her mother, Regina Ventura, followed with tearful testimony, describing how she once found her daughter bruised, broken, and unrecognizable, a shadow of the vibrant star she used to be. Then came Kid Cudi, who risked his entire career to expose Diddy's mafia-style vengeance. A home invasion where his belongings were destroyed and his dog locked in a bathroom, followed by a Molotov cocktail attack that turned his Porsche into a blazing inferno. Former Donny Kane singer Don Richard revealed the climate of fear within Diddy's bad boy empire, where crossing him meant total destruction. Makeup artist Mila Morales recounted hearing Cassie's screams echo through a Beverly Hills hotel suite as Diddy allegedly beat her, leaving her battered and trembling. And finally, Diddy's own former assistants took the stand, describing nights spent cleaning up his drug binges, hiding his weapons, and witnessing his violence up close. These witnesses didn't just testify, they rose up, united, declaring war on the monster behind the music. They risked everything to reveal the predator hiding behind platinum records and fame. The jury's verdict won't just decide Diddy's fate. It will answer one haunting question. Can a self-proclaimed king of terror truly fall?
The final reckoning.
As the trial moves into its fourth week, the evidence grows impossible to ignore. Regina Ventura, Cassie's mother, takes the stand and recalls seeing her daughter covered in bruises. Don Richard, former Donny Kane singer, testifies about the constant fear that ruled Diddy's inner circle. Then comes the final, devastating blow. Mila Morales, Cassie's makeup artist, recounts the night she woke up to screams echoing through a Beverly Hills hotel suite. Cassie had a swollen eye, a busted lip, and knots on her head. Morales says quietly, "Diddy did that." The prosecution rests, laying out a chilling case built on 2 decades of abuse, sex trafficking, racketeering, and violence. The defense fires back, calling it all lies. branding the witnesses as money-hungry accusers. But the jury has already seen too much, heard too much. The man who once ruled through power, fear, and excess now sits motionless, facing the one downfall he never thought possible, his own. If this dude goes down, it's going to be one of the biggest falls in entertainment history. Joe Rogan. The world watches. Justice waits.